Every business comes with a risk, but the key is knowing how to handle them. Hi, my name is Christine, and I'm Kami, and in this video, we'll explore practical and effective ways to reduce and manage risk in businesses. With the right strategies, you can protect your businesses and keep them growing. So let's get started. Accepting risk exists is the first step in business. As a future accountant, you must not limit yourself with financial responsibilities, but you must go beyond the numbers and manage risks in businesses that affects the entire organization.
So, enterprise risk management isn't just about avoiding danger, it is about making smarter strategic decisions. So, companies must continuously evaluate the overall exposure to risk of the company and ensure that it is effectively being monitored. So, to do this effectively, managers must truthfully answer questions regarding for example, the greatest areas of risk relating to the most significant strategic decisions, the level of risk that is acceptable for the company to bear. So questions like that can help or assist managers in deciding how to manage their risk more effectively.
Identifying internal and external risks is very crucial because it allows you to make informed decisions and it benefits the business that you are working for. Risks may arise in different areas, like commercially, technologically, financially, strategically, and operationally. So these are the different areas that risk can arise from.
Additionally, financial risk management is also essential because finance drive business decision and long-term success.
Because finance drives long-term success, managers must apply strong discipline and judgment to reduce their financial exposure to risk. They do this using 3 practical tools. First one is variance analysis. They compare actual performance against their plans to identify and fix their problems early. The second one is market assessment. They evaluate the cost and barriers of entering or exiting a market to stay flexible. The third one is break-even analysis. They determine the exact volume needed to cover costs, which guide their pricing and forecasting.
What are the factors that we should consider that can create risk in businesses? The first one is technology. Machines and equipment can fail, especially in today's fast-changing world. So technology is one of the factors that we should consider. Second is organizational changes. New management structures, reporting lines, and strategies can affect how a business operates. The third one is processes. Inefficient or unclear workflows can lead to mistakes and delays, so it is considered a factor that can create risk in business. The fourth one is people, the heart of every business. Managing people well helps strengthen the organization, but human error can also create risks. And lastly, external factors. Laws, regulations, and political, economic, and social changes can all have an impact in a business. So technology, organizational changes, processes, people, and external factors, these are the factors that can create risk in businesses. Understanding these factors help businesses prepare and respond to risk more effectively.
Noon. I'm Mary Jean Rafael, graduated from CNSC din way back 2007. First batch of BSA or Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. So, for my business, one of our family business, chicken retail and frozen products. So, name after my two daughter and son, Ding Dong Breast Chicken Store. located at the public market, Camarines Norte. So, for this kind of business, especially perishable goods, so kailangan mini-maintain yung FIFO method, first in, first out, to avoid high percentage of waste. So, ibig sabihin, yung unang dumating na supply, so siya yung kailangang ibenta or dispose. And madali naman siya kung titingnan, pero kapag nasa actual application na kasi, medyo kailangan mo rin i-consider ang manpower. Kailangan maka-outsource ka, makakuha ka ng maayos na tao na na-maintain yung FIFO method. So, ibig sabihin, maayos ang frozen stock. Like, yung 18 degrees Celsius ay na-maintain din. Yung mga frozen products, dapat na-maintain siya na naka-froze. Kasi pag hindi, yung dispose ng product, like yung pagpapalit-palit every hour, kailangan na ma-maintain. Kasi pag hindi, pwedeng masira, madaling masira yung products. And we need to consider yung suppliers. Hindi dapat nag-stick lang sa isa, okay? So, suppliers, kailangan may mga option 1 to 3. So, may mga diversification of suppliers. For example, usually sa product ng meat or ng chicken ay Magnolia, Bounty, and many more. So, kailangan may mga access doon sa supplier na yun. Ganon din sa mga processed meat like hot dogs. So, nandiyan ang Pure Foods, CDO, and many more. So, kailangan na ma-maintain na may mga suppliers ka na napagkukunan ng mga yun. Kasi yun talaga ang in demand sa consumer. Yun yung kailangan ng mga tao. Lalo na ngayon, aminin man natin o sa hindi, medyo exposed na tayo sa mga processed meat. Kahit ayaw natin siyang i-love, pero yun talaga ang reality. Kahit yung siomai, the lumpia, Shanghai, given na talaga na meron ng processed meat na ang CDO and many other companies. And of course, yung pag-dispose din ng waste material, kailangan maayos din. So, kailangan may napupuntahan yung mga basura everyday. Dapat may mga kino-consider na tamang tapunan ng mga basura. Kasi, meat. So, ibig sabihin, madali siyang masira, madali siyang mangamoy kapag hindi maayos yung paglinis. And of course, yung mga regular compliance when it comes to permits. Yung mga permits and licenses. So, hindi pwedeng nagbebenta kami or nagbe-business na hindi dumadaan sa tamang proseso. So, annually, nagre-renew ng mga permits. Lalo na kami, retail industry and perishable goods. So, meron ako annually na ganon na permits. And of course, meron din kailangan yung labor and operational management. So, yung manpower, kailangan may nag-o-opening dito sa tindahan. May nag-o-opening like 5 o'clock in the morning. And may nagko-closing din kasi yung mga rush hour doon natin inaabangan yung mataas na sales, syempre. Kasi sa negosyo, syempre, kailangan natin profit. Hindi lang pwede yung benta ng benta. So, kailangan na ma-maintain, naaayos din natin yung inventories. So, yung inventory natin, meron tayo tinatawag na inventory beginning, inventory end, at the end of the month or at the end of the week. So, may mga ganong dapat na ginagawa ang isang katulad na business owners. So, ilan lang to sa negosyo na meron ang family namin. And pagdating naman sa palay industry, sa agriculture, meron din kaming seed, palay seeds, which nagde-deliver kami sa mga farmers. Dumadaan sa field rice registration, pina-quality control, tinitingnan kung maayos yung seeds, may germination about 95% above. Nagde-deliver sa mga farmers na itatanim nila, which is certified seeds na yung tinatanim namin. Every cropping, so sa isang taon may 2 cropping, may 2 anihan. So, ibig sabihin, every cropping meron kaming 1,000 bags of palay every harvest. So, dinideliver namin yon all over the Camarines Norte, Tamsur, Lucena, Quezon Province. So, may mga allocations for that. So, nakaka-help kami doon sa mga lugar na medyo mahina ang pag-grow ng kanilang palay. So, meron kaming registered seeds like 216 or 222 or 222. Medyo maselan lang nga, medyo complicated pagdating sa pagtatanim or pagpa-plant or pagtatanim ng mga palay kasi quality control ang kailangan doon. So, doon naman naka-routine regularly si husband, okay, si Wilfredo De Leon. So, siya talaga yung nandun sa palay seeds. Ako naman, nandito ako nagmo-monitor every time kasi working din ako sa Department of Education, senior high school teacher ng grade 12 sa Panganiban National High School. So, nandito ako para i-monitor na lang din itong negosyong to since bakasyon ngayon, kaya nandito ako ngayon nakaupo. So, na-interview nyo nga ako. Pero masaya ang magkaroon ng negosyo kasi hindi lang dahil kumikita ka, kundi natutulungan mo ang mga katulad ng mga workers ko kasi mga nag-aaral. So, natutulungan ko sila sa kanilang allowances kapag may mga time na available sila to work. So, nandun may mga scheduling na lang. So, may mga allowances sila and benefits na kukuha sa business na katulad ko nito. Ang business na ito ay ano lang naman, sole proprietor, solo, at saka hindi small kumbaga kabilang pa rin siya sa small enterprise, parang ganon. Na kahit maliit lang siya, kailangan nagko-comply sa lahat ng mga compliances na kailangan ng government agencies and officers. Kasi nandyan ang benefits dapat ng employees mo like SSS, Pag-ibig, at saka PhilHealth, as well as yung mga tax payment. So, kailangan na monitor. So, kailangan may mga ka-help tayo like external bookkeepers. And of course, meron tayo dapat internal bookkeepers na nag-aalaga din ng mga books, ng mga reports natin. So, for me, happy kasi may dalawa akong, si Ding Dong na nga. So, came from Ding Dong Breast Chicken Store. Nahihelp ko sila na maging marunong din sa negosyo. Kapag wala silang pasok, pwede silang magkahera. So, yun yung aking pwedeng ma-help. Na in the future, ay pwede naman sila mag-manage ng ganitong business din. At the same time, nagmo-monitor kung may mga career man silang gusto in the future. So, yun. So, siguro, yun lang muna. For now, ang masasabi ko, thank you so much.
Overall, managing financial risks involves using practical tools, making informed decisions, and maintaining a balance between risk and return to achieve the sustainable business success.
In conclusion, risk is a natural part of every business, but it doesn't have to be a weakness. When risks are properly managed, identified, and analyzed, it can become an opportunities for growth and for improvement. By staying prepared and making informed decisions and continuously monitoring risks, businesses can stay strong and successful even in uncertain situations. Thank you for watching.